Hi and welcome to O2pos presentation. My name is Véronique Trigan. Today I will show you how to use the O2pos and also what's it used for. To start, O2pos is a graphical POS linked directly with your OGC Plus, and it works on Windows. Our objective with this software, it's basically to facilitate transaction in order to be more efficient at point of sale, also accelerate training for new employees and reduce the risk of mistakes, and to improve the image of your company. You can also display publicity and or promotions. So I'm going to log in the system and show you how the layout is presented. So this is O2pos. The layout basically is split into half. So on this side you have the real-time invoicing, so the client can really keep track of their purchases. And on the other side over here is where you do the data entry. So it's divided into three sections. You have your customer section here, then the item, and the payments at the bottom. I'm going to start by showing you the menu bar, and then we're going to go into each different section. So to start off a transaction, you start by pressing the F2 and starts off your invoicing. Automatically it changes into a saving button, so it's the same function. The second one here is to avoid your transaction. Again, if you're having a blank on which function to use on your keyboard, you could put your cursor on it, your mouse, and then you'll see that shortcut. Everything is used with the keyboard. Today I'm using the mouse just as a cursor, as a pointer, but everything is adapted to work directly on your keyboard. We have the function F7. This one is linked to all the printing options. So you can print a slip or an invoice. You also have number 5, the open drawer option. This one is really great because every time the drawer is open, it will save that transaction. So it's more for a security measure. It's just great to have the option available. Our number 8 function here is to save a transaction and suspend it. We all have the classic scenario where a client forgets their wallet in the car or things like that, so you can save and then suspend and take it back when the client is back. You can also look up an invoice. So if you wanted to look up an invoice from a customer code, a name, or a transaction number, you type it in and you'll have all the transactions according to the value you put in here. Our next option is the F10 to search an item. So you type in your item's description or code, you take it back, you pick it up, and then it will give you the units of measure, also give you the price of that item, and you'll find the quantities divided by warehouses. You'll find your on-hand quantity, reserved, available, and ordered. So it's a great option to find all this information without having to opening up an invoice and type it in the item section. You just have it right over here. And the application, this one will help you switch user or just quit the application. You can also switch between 2 languages. Every time you're in a field on this system, I want to take your attention to the messages at the bottom. So it kind of guides you into which action you can do with within that field. For example, here we're in the customer code or name. So it tells you can search by that code or name. So if I know my client code is CL3, start by typing it, and then I can go and select it. Or again, I can do the reverse and type in the name, and then I'll find the name with the code associated to it. If I don't know the name or I'm not sure the code or whichever, I always have the function F3. So it's a find a search window. So I can type in a value that I want to search in. For example, if I know that in my customer's name I have the value OGC, I can search with that value and it'll pick up all the names using that combinations of letter. So I can double click on it and import that customer file. I can also associate a message to a customer file. So if I feel the need that I have to transfer information to point of sale. So when the client comes in, I could associate a message within OGC Plus that will pop up when that client is selected at point of sale. We have this little function button here that brings us all the customer's records. So we have the information about the address, their phone number, even their email. And what's great, you also have the option of selecting the preference language. So if you have to call, you know which language to use when making that phone call. We also have the option of shipping. So if you ever have any deliveries, you can set it up right here at point of sale. Our other field is over here to enter a sales order, so you can find the number. If you know it by heart, just type it in. Again, if you're not too sure, you have the find F3 function. So this will bring up all the orders that are under this particular customer code, and then we can just select it right away. It will ask you if you want to make a deposit on the order or if you just want to invoice it, and then it will bring up all the quantities of items on this side. Our next field here is a customer PO number, so it's a customer reference number. It's really up to the clients if they want to use that field or not. Our second field is the item F5. Over here, you're going to type in the quantity of items that is being purchased, or if it's a refund, then we're just going to use a negative quantity to pull up that refund. Then we have our item enter field. We can search our items by code, or we can also search it by description. So we just write down our item, and it'll pull it up here on our invoice side. If I'm not too sure what the item code or description is, again, use the F3 function, and then I can search within the barcode. I can also search biological code, supplier code, and other descriptions. If I can add multiple items here. There you go. I can change my screens into which field I want to use. So we can go on this one and enter the data, or I can switch between the zone using the Alt F5 and then be into my invoicing here, selecting the item. So I can go back onto one item, select it, and then change the price, or I can give it a discount, and I can also play with the taxes. So these are all based upon what your users are allowed to do within the system. You can allow them to make rebates or not. It's really up to how you manage your company. You have that same function. Instead of double clicking on this one here, you could find that same shortcut over here. So it will give you the same product detail window. Now in the payment section, payment F9 to go into this field, we're using the same payment numbers as in OGC Plus. So you can select, for example, cash charge, Visa, and so forth. If I pick the cash, I enter my amount here and hit enter, and this will give me my balance here, the balance of my invoice. I can make as many payments as I want, and there you go. So it's really straightforward, very easy to understand this software. There's a couple of transactions you can do. We can take a payment on account. For example, if I go back onto my account here, I can make directly a payment of, let's say, $400. Would you like to make an account payment? Yes. If my client is giving me $400, but he really wants to apply $393, for example, I can put in that value, and then it will give me my change back here at the bottom. A couple of things that are fun in this software is you can create a customer file directly in it. So if I type in a value that doesn't exist, it will ask me if I want to create a new customer file, so then I can write in those information right away in the system. When it comes to refunding any items, I put in a negative quantity over here, type in the item that was refunded, and then for security measures we have this window where you're going to type in the invoice number. If you don't have it on hand, you can always track it down, and it'll pull up over here all the records using, all the invoice using that particular item. So you can have the right price, the right discount that was used on the day of the purchase, and have a more proper refund. You can also write down the price manually here, otherwise it will use the default price. We have our reason code section, so these can be preset in OGC Plus, so depending what reason codes you might need. And then we have an extra field for a comment. So at point of sale, if anything has to be commented, any more additional information, the cashier can write it down right away in this field. And we'll save that over here. Again, using the payments, we type in the payments here, and then I'll put my amount right away and just press enter. For the payment section here, you can also use the integrated system, so you don't have to type in your terminal. You could be linked directly, which is great for more security measures. Again, it's a bit less mistakes that are going to be created in terms of which type of payments are being used. When you're refunding an item, what's great is we have different coupons, the slip that is being printed. We are using, it's about this size here. So you have a field where you have the signature of the client, the employee signature, and also the supervisors. So that's a great security measure again. If you're just canceling an order, for example, if I'm purchasing this order over here, I could also cancel that item pressing minus minus, and it will ask me if I want to void this line. So if a client is changing their mind about purchasing a certain items, you could always take it out of the invoices. What's fun is it's not just erasing it, but it's reversing that line. So once the invoice is printing out, then you'll have a full detail of that particular transaction, having the items in a positive quantity, and then having it reversed here at the bottom. So for example, this total is at 0, but I have it detailed of what's happening in during that transaction. This software allows you to take a deposit on a sales order. You can also make a payment on account. You can invoice a sales order. You can also have refunds. It's really meant to be a cash and carry point of sale application. You won't find all the options for a sales order, for example. So it's really meant to be super fast and quick point of sale. One other thing that you'll have with this software is you have a section at the bottom here that would display publicity promotion. So basically it could be any pictures or any videos. Even if you have speakers, you can have sounds. Everything that is accepted in Media Player will be accepted into this software. So that kind of covers all the functions for O2pos. If you have any more questions, you can always find us online. So you have different product specifications. Or if you want to have more personalized information, give us a call. We have our phone number right over here. So therefore we can answer if you have any particular questions or something you'd like to have in that software and see if that exists. Thank you very much. Have a good day.